good old OBS wanting to use, you know, just the,
Izzy.
Yeah, thank you, Izzy.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. And we need our planet side sound.
I'm just noticing there's a little bit of a whir to it when I tested it out too. There's like a background, like the AC is on or something.
That might be my computer? Is it still there?
I mean, I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah. Well, no, not on my end. It's when I turn on the sound for the stream.
Izzy, are you hearing that too?
I'm not getting it.
Oh, yep, okay.
Yeah. Like sound of dead air.
Let's see. I'm not really sure what that could be. But everyone's sound is actually coming through, right?
Yeah.
All the players and everyone. Try turning up my sensitivity a little bit. Maybe that'll help fix it. Because, yeah, we don't have any fans or anything on, so I'm not sure what that would be.
I don't know.
Okay, alright. Well, hopefully that's not a really big problem for anyone, and I'll go back and try to listen afterwards and see if I can figure that out to fix. Okay. So yeah, you all have entered the biodome. Still extremely, the light seems to be coming from a focal point in the center of the dome. You can kind of make out a person in the center of it who has their back to you.
Hannibal will move over here and look elsewhere around to see both around the biome as well as if you can see anywhere outside or through the door or anything like that.
Yeah, it's the biodome is created to facilitate a healthy growing environment for crops, so it's easy to see out. Yeah.
Alright. Is there anything odd, out of place? Dead bodies?
No dead bodies, but it does seem like the plants that are closest to the central light point are possibly healthier.
Okay.
I'm gonna draw my weapons, but I'll keep them down.
Or kick back right
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
I'm guessing that opening the hatch and everything made a reasonable amount of noise along with us clambering out.
I would say that's pretty accurate.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, none of you said. Most of you did not say or have very, no mention of being stealthy, but.
True, but there is such a thing as passive stealth.
Yes, there is.
And I have a passive stealth of 18.
So yeah, you were pretty quiet.
But
there's
also a member of the party that is wearing hefty armor.
Indeed.
Hefty.
And there's 4 of us. So that makes sense.
Anyway, the person has not reacted, or the being has not reacted to you.
Do I not recognize the being as soul?
You can't make out details through the bright light. You just know it's a person. It's like if you were to stare at it, it's equivalent to staring at the sun. You cannot really tell what is in the center.
Okay.
You can make out that it is a person.
Xander, you may want to keep your distance.
Alright.
Sol?
And as you mentioned that, the entire light drops and almost sucks into the person, and you do see Soul before you. He turns around, all vestige or images of any wounds are completely gone. If anything, he looks like younger, you could say.
Well, now we know why you're called Sol.
I didn't mean to startle you. I just was taking care of my daily prayer.
And that has to be done out here.
Yeah, as you see, some might find my form of prayer disturbing, or either to their rest or otherwise.
Right.
You all good?
Good.
Yes, as you can see, I'm perfectly fine. And
I'll reholster all my weapons.
he is had something in his hand that he's now then putting back around his neck, and slipping into the front of his tunic.
Is that
The symbol of your religion?
Oh, you could say that. It's a rather important piece that reminds me of the balance of life and the importance of it.
I can dig it.
Is the captain awake?
No, Captain's still out cold. Yuri isn't much better.
Well.
Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? Since we've got the time.
Don't see why not. And he sits down crisscross near some of the crops that were around him, and begins to pick what look like some purplish berries off of them, and just starts nibbling on them.
Yeah.
I am going to go check the status of the ship and see if I can't repair it.
Okay.
Good luck. Hold up, Hack. No one should be travelling alone. Hannibal looks at both Xander and Farius. One of you two will need to go with him.
I have no problem going with him. We have built up a bit of a rapport.
Why?
Hannibal looks to Hack to make sure that Hack is okay with that.
I give him a nod.
Okay. Hannibal will then sit next to Sol and also go cross-legged.
Okay.
How do I get out of here?
Open the door.
Oh, is there not an actual door? There you go.
I don't think I see one. No.
We're trapped. We're all going to die down here.
Okay. So Hacker and Farius are out. Have exited the biodome. Letting in some cooler air into the dome, which is a relief because it was extremely warm in there.
Trying to move is a pain in the ass. There we go. Wait, no, I can't move past it. Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
Whee. Let's see. I'll try and help to repair the ship, because we do need to get out of here, like, sooner rather than later.
Wait, and then where did your token go, Rye?
Should have been in front of.
Oh,
It's
there we go.
outside.
There we go.
Oh, it's been. Wait, yeah, it has been moved. What's going on?
I moved it. It was outside the dome for some reason. You're good. Okay. Anyways.
Why do you keep messing with my shit? What is this?
DM
Anyways.
privilege.
Alright. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, Hannibal will ask Sol about when he joins the crew.
How do
He
you ask him?
understands that. Alright, Hannibal, so if I recall correctly, you said that you'd joined the crew. You're the last person to join the crew before us, right?
Well, me and Roland. We came
Oh,
on
yeah,
about
yeah.
the same time.
Engineer. How long ago was that again?
Oh, that had to have been probably 2 or 3 weeks before you lot joined on.
Where did you? Where did you join the crew?
Hold on 1 second.
So in other words, the line of questioning is trying to figure out if he was in the vicinity of any of the raids, both when he did join the crew and since being with the crew.
So you do know that he joined before, probably right after the first raid had happened, during that downtime in the sequence of the raids. And he would have joined at, let me pull up the map so I can tell you. He would have joined from a Moss station near Bastion.
Right. Which was also near where the raids have been going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Roland, you said Roland joined at the same time you did, or before or after?
I mean, he would approach the captain first before me, but we came on in from the same station.
I'll show Sol. In fact, hang on a minute. I'll do a thingy check.
Insight.
Insight check to see
Okay.
if he's being forward with me.
Okay.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, from what you can tell, he's being pretty straightforward.
Best get all nat 20s in combat. That's what I'm saying. Bastards. Alright. Alright, he'll show Sol the data pad with the information on the raids and such, and ask Sol if he can recall the where the ship has been travelling since he's been on it.
I don't keep a complete record of the manifest of our stops, as that's definitely not my forte or my job position, but I do recall us visiting quite a few of these locations, and he seems a little uneasy as he's looking over the details of the numbers of people that were killed and
Because I think these raids are about a specific someone. And at the moment, that specific someone seems to be either you or Roland, or both. It could be a coincidence. There's not enough
You're
information.
smart, man.
Evidence of a misspent youth. I've read way too many adventure novels, I guess.
Touching on the forearm gently, you can say, I can see that you spent a lot of your youth studying. But I don't know if I'm the one that they are seeking, but I can let you know that I have been moving from place to place on a mission, you could say. Mission of bringing hope and light back to the darkest reaches of the universe. And I would be very sad if that caused anyone to cause harm to others.
You cannot hold yourself responsible for the actions of others.
That is true, but I can't help that feel that this may have ended too much life.
I think I understand.
And he nods his head in recognition
Hannibal
of
looked at... Sorry.
Nods
Okay.
his head in a recognition of shared feeling. And he takes off the amulet that he'd been wearing and kind of just looks at it in his hand. And if you'd like, in his own hand, yes. But you're not there, so you don't know.
I mean, is blind?
I don't know. Is he?
I will... I'll have a... I'll glance at the amulet as I stand up. What does it look like?
Since you're standing so close, I'm not going to make you roll for it. And he's like not trying to hide it or anything.
Okay.
It is a symbol that you do not recognize. And it's a fairly large piece. I'd say it's probably, I don't know if you can see my camera, but I would say it's probably like 2 or 3 inches long by 1 inch wide. And it is a kind of fiery or fire-kissed metal that in shades of reds and purples and yellows all blended together. And the symbol of, similar to one that he had an insignia on his shirt or his kimono, bears resemblance to it.
Okay. After standing up, Hannibal looks over at Xander. Do you think we should help the others? Maybe together we can get that ship at least semi-functional.
Yeah, I got a little bit of mechanical skills. Let's get out there and help them.
Soul waves.
Let us out! Let us out!
Soul waves you guys off and makes his way back down to the tunnel to see what he can do for helping Gideon with the injured.
Well, while we are sort of working on the pile here that is our ship, in the midst of working alongside it, Farius will look to Hacker and just give him a bit of a curious look. You are aware that I have not been entirely truthful as far as everybody else is concerned. You are aware that there is something going on that is beyond what everyone is aware of. My question is perhaps this is looking a gift horse in the mouth a bit, but my question is, why do you keep it to yourself?
Because based on your words, there's someone else who hasn't been entirely honest either. And I don't know who that is.
I suppose that is fair.
What if it's our captain that you're looking for? What if it's one of the members of the crew? And it's somebody we've come into contact with that we're supposed to be working for now? Am I supposed to trust them over you? Yours is a duty much higher than to a ship, to a kingdom. I can't make any arguments against that as long as you have reasonable cause. I will let you keep your reasonable cause to yourself because it is not necessary for me to know. But know that if my crew has been done wrong, there will be retaliation.
And with that, I cannot say one way or the other. I have no idea exactly why it is that, we have a wanted person on the crew. But I imagine it is probably to do with something that they have done that has wronged an entire nation. If that is the case, then we have ourselves a bit of a problem. Not just as far as you and I are concerned, and not just as far as the crew is concerned, but as far as everyone is concerned.
And
It is very difficult. It is very difficult to do things so very heinous that an entire group, the entire nation of elves, wants you.
Which is why I won't make any repercussive actions against you, Agent Zero. Agent 01.
Perhaps do not call me that when people can potentially hear you.
Affirmative.
Is that when we walk up?
Probably.
Okay. Have I discerned if the ship is repairable or not?
Go ahead and do a. Let's see, what should I have you do? Do a technology check for me.
Yeah.
You are very well versed in repairs of ships, as that is the base of your programming. At least from your past experiences, you've worked on a number of human ships, and from what you can see, it's spaghetti on a plate in here. There's wires hanging down all over the place. There's still remains of a small electrical fire. Panels of the craft are somewhat crumpled and in disarray. It's looking more like a salvage ship now, like a salvageable ship than a return to working condition.
As I walk up, can I likewise see if I can figure out if it is workable?
You see very much the same, but if you want to see if you are able to maybe fix it a little bit better than he can, like get it to a little bit better of a condition, you can.
Okay.
Getting into the piloting seat, you are able to open up the panel right under the controls, and another mess of wires falls out. Selecting a few wires, cut them and twist them together, and you are able to at least get roll a. Let me see what you needed to roll for that. It's a number that I'm asking you to roll, nothing crazy. Can you roll 2, 3, 4, 1d4 for me.
1d4.
Oh no, can you make it a 1d5?
A 1d, sorry.
A 1d5 by chance?
Yeah, should be able to. Roll 1d5.
Okay. So as you twist the wires together, there's a small spark, and you drop the wires down, and a small bit of life resumes in the console in front of you, and you hear shh as the comms are reactivated.
Sorry, as the comms. Sorry, you keep breaking out.
Oh,
the comms are.
Reactivated.
Ooh, good.
But nothing else seems to have been achieved by doing that.
It's a start.
Comms are good.
Hannibal sort of says out loud, "It's a start."
Will we be able to contact the ship with this?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Get line of sight on it.
At the moment that they are able to see the ship, it should not be a problem. We will be able to contact its core fairly easily, so long as we are able to fly in the first place. It is not going to be capable. There's no place for it to really land, and if we were to make it move too quickly, it might be intercepted by the raiders. So I wouldn't worry too much about contacting just yet.
At this point, you hear a very familiar voice over the intercom. You recognize Star's voice. This is Dark Phoenix calling for Lander 01. Lander 01, can you respond?
Hannibal looks at the others like, are we actually going to respond? Like, is this a trap?
It is our ride.
I would say so. You're at the seat.
Hannibal shrugs and answers. Yeah, hi. It's Hannibal here. How are you?
Oh yes, just start the conversation with it.
Weapons malfunction. How are you?
There's a moment of silence, and then you hear Star hesitantly reply, "Who is this?"
Okay, good news. Hannibal says to the others. Good news is, I'm fairly confident that this isn't a trick of some description.
Okay, and the bad news.
Bad news is that she's still up there and we're down here. Alright,
That much we knew
He goes
already,
back-
so I suppose
he
it's not a
goes-
big deal.
he goes back on the comm. Alright, all shit broke loose down here. Captain's seriously injured. Yori isn't much better. A whole load of dark elves came down and they're looking for someone.
With the short delay, you hear Star replying, "Can I get your call sign?"
Do I have a call sign?
You just
We're not
communicated
Lander
to
01.
you just communicated to a ship that a shit ton of people just came down and attacked where you guys were. Essentially, she's trying to establish, are you the bad people or the good people right now?
What was the What was the dropship's call sign?
Who are
If
you
necessary, if sorry.
asking? Who are you asking?
It was calling for Lander
I'm asking-
01, so I'll assume we're Lander 01.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. This is Lander 01.
Copy, Lander 01. Do you have an alpha code?
1 second.
How do you say fuck me in binary?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Can
what I'm doing.
can I circumvent this with my interpreter feature?
Yeah, go ahead. If you want to jump in.
I kind of come over and I just go, there is a sort of a basic on this. There are some basic universal signs that you can use that are generally acceptable. We don't need to memorize every single code given to us. And he
It's okay. I got this.
No. Just listen. This will fix things up a little bit. Trust me. This is something that I'm kind of trained in. And he'll
Hannibal
enter.
slaps his hand away.
Listen. Do you want this to be resolved quickly or not?
I am resolving it quickly.
Oh, it doesn't sound like it.
Right. Hannibal returns to getting the information of. Actually, you see Hannibal kind of touching the screen, as if searching for something with his fingers. Nat?
I'm typing it in for you right now.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. And then letters like you would in military.
Okay, right. Certainly. Call sign is Alpha 02 Romeo 8.
Star comes back. Glad to hear that you guys made it. Captain, you said, is gravely injured. We have our own issues up here. A platoon of, well, not, I wouldn't say platoon, but several smaller elven ships have appeared, and there's also the presence of a larger, more grand vessel that recently came in. We have currently taken up a hidden position behind a moon in orbit around Nyx. We're lucky to catch you. There's been times where we haven't even been able to raise anyone else or hear any other chatter. But from what we've been trying to listen on their communication line. Not sure if they can even hear us right now, but it does sound like they had a heck of a time with you guys down there, deterring them from following orders from a prince.
Hannibal looks at Farius.
I think you're muted.
I am as clueless on this one as you are. What?
Just as long as you don't expect me to curtsy.
Well, what? Do you think I am a prince? I wish. That would make things a lot easier for a lot of things. I don't know. No, not me.
Alright, back on the comms, Hannibal says. I tried to send a distress beacon several hours ago. I'm guessing that didn't get through then.
No, we didn't receive anything.
Damn it. Alright, well, we're open to ideas. Do you think you can get down here and then back out? Because there's no way for us to get these ships running anytime soon.
Unfortunately, the Dark Phoenix isn't really designed for landing on the surface. It can do lower atmosphere, but not fully land, nor is this base equipped to handle such a landing if we were to attempt. There's no landing pad for it, and the surface is relatively rocky from what we've seen from the geo readouts. My best suggestion would be to, either travel or wait for another outpost to contact you, or try to figure out what these elves want and negotiate with them for safe passage back to us, or back to a Moz station where we can pick you up. And without enough crew, we're kind of running skeleton here. We can't even fully defend ourselves at the moment. Most we could do is I can fly and we can get our shields up, but in terms of attack, we're one person short of that.
Alright. I'll see if I can get this bucket of bolts together in, enough for an orbital pickup. Don't hold your breath on that though. We'll contact you again when we can. Understood.
And the comms die back down to mostly just static. There's intermittent, it's seeming like it's picking up other things, but nothing clear is coming through.
Alright, I'll turn off the comm for now. Alright, did I get a damage report from the computer yet?
From what you could based on what you rolled earlier, I'll just use the same roll if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Based on what you got earlier, you know that all the other systems are currently inoperable. Bordering on there's not enough power to dedicate to them, and several of them are completely toasted. The circuit boards will not support running them.
Looking at the wreckage of the other dropships and the landing pads, there's at least one, wasn't there? Yeah. Were there any other wreckages around?
You guys were not able to destroy any of the elven ships, but there was at least one other ship that had been visiting the outpost, but that is all but destroyed. That had taken a lot of the brunt of the firing, as it kind of shielded the wreckage it was in one of the spots next to your guys' ship, and it had shielded most of your ship from taking the majority of the flyover damage.
Looking at the two other wreckages then, in my humble opinion, is it even remotely possible?
No. I would say repair to this vessel further than what you have done is beyond what you have the supplies or the knowledge to do.
Okay. Alright. Looks like we've only got two options, guys. One is to find out exactly what the Dark Elves wants and try to negotiate. And the other one is we try to go to another outpost and hope that hasn't been hit.
Well, I suppose we can try and go to another outpost.
Will your organics survive?
That is another question entirely.
My skin's pretty tough.
If we can get to another outpost, secure a dropship, then we can come back here, we can pick up the injured, and get the fuck out of here.
I like that idea. We're gonna need to get to move on now.
We're also going to need to find out where another outpost is and the best way to get to it.
This is true.
Alright,
We still
let's
have
go
the
back to
com-
the hovel. What was that, Hack?
We do still have the comm unit. We could try hailing some kind of station.
Okay. Do you want to try doing that? I'll head back and tell Gideon what it is that we're doing.
Affirmative.
I'll get started to work on that.
So obviously I'll tell Sol, well, Sol's already back down there,
Yeah,
so
he's
yeah,
down
I'll tell everyone's there, yada yada yada.
And then what is everyone else doing still?
I guess make sure that I have all my belongings on me before we end up leaving. Probably, I mean, kind of have the station to ourselves. Maybe might do a little bit of looting. Just to see what I can find in the various shops here that have been left behind. Anything that might be of use that I can take with me immediately.
Okay. Which,
Everyone make sure Snappy comes with us for sure. Who's gonna pick up that this time?
animal handling check.
I'm gonna fucking bite you.
I hope
So
so.
face off.
Which is a wisdom. Skills. I think you would have that on your drop down. Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's there. Oh, I was gonna be very scared for you for a second. It like paused on the one before it rolled. Snappy seems a little reluctant, but if he was properly motivated maybe by a snack, he seemed a little bit more interested. But anyways, you said you were going to loot various?
Yes.
Okay, so which, go ahead and take your character over to what building you want.
Well, we'll make our way around.
Okay. If you want to go ahead and enter the building.
I clicked to open. Come on. Is this locked?
Maybe.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not
That's
giving you the
fine.
lock door sound. It's giving you a weird sound. I have to look at that later. Anyways, this door is locked. You can always try breaking the lock, examining the lock. You know, whatever you want to do.
I'll try to just make it not locked anymore.
Good call.
So for like picking a lock, what would you want me to roll for that?
A sleight of hand check, probably.
Okay. Well, all right, never mind.
As you were reaching for it, you're not quite able to even like touch the lock. There seems to be a force generated around it, and when you look at it at the right angle, it almost shimmers.
Okay.
And the door is still locked.
Hmm. Well, can I shoot it?
You can certainly try.
There you go.
Okay, so as you shoot at this door, what you were expecting to happen was possibly the lock melting out. However, the laser blast bounce off and hits the ground probably 10 or 15 feet from you. And
You
the
forget it, I
door.
already tried that. The door's magnetically sealed.
No,
You're not there. Was he even with you when that happened?
No,
No,
I'm just
no.
quoting Star
Nope.
Wars, sir.
He's quoting Star Wars,
Oh.
yes.
Oh, never mind.
I can see your confusion, though.
Yep. I was like, wait, what? Sorry. Xander, were you looking around for stuff too?
Mostly like maybe a manifest of colonies or anything. So we talked about that. That's why I was in the bar. I remember correctly the Brown was in the bar. Looking for a map or maybe any type of
So,
manifest or anything.
while you're
Oh,
looking around, you are, overturning boxes, trying to look through several different books and trying, paper trails. You don't seem to be finding anything, but you do hear the sound of the approaching ship. And also the sound of it landing on the pad.
Did it sound like one of the ships that, the elven ships that had been raiding us earlier, or what? Yeah?
I mean, you could go look.
Yeah, no, Xander is gonna run outside.
But it looks, go ahead and roll in perception.
Oh,
I assume I
The
can
rolls
see
of
this
it.
happening where I'm at, right?
You have line of sight, yeah. It's the big ship, so yeah, you would definitely be able to see it. Hacker, you notice that this ship, looks a little bit different than, the ship you saw earlier. It is painted, kind of a more brighter purple with silver and gold accents. And it's a little bit larger than the ship you had been on earlier. Or not had been on, but the one you attempted to hack earlier. And while you're watching, another one comes in and lands. Oops, I didn't need to move both of those.
Is it too late for me to like stealth hide?
I would say that they may have seen you. Well, go ahead and roll stealth to see what you get, and then I'll base it off of that.
Because I was inside the ship.
Yeah, I mean, if you, you were inside the ship, so technically you could have hidden. Because you would be at least half obscured. So yeah, you would have had time to hide.
Mix in with the metal.
I just envision you being like one of those test dummy pilots and just in the front seat.
Okay, well I'll just sit from this vantage point and watch.
Alright, so one by one, Drow infantry and other elven infantry begin to emerge from these ships. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one in this color. Okay, so there's one that's a darker color, and he's different from the other ones, just so you know. He's dressed in a more ornamental fashion than the rest, and seems to be barking orders and a little impatient with the rest of the men that had emerged. There is one who seems to be second, like taking his orders and then relaying them to others. And I just went ahead and notate the colors for you. All right. And they are going about getting certain things unloaded and set up and begin to make their way towards the outpost.
Well, Xander, what do you think we should do?
It's gonna get you to get out there and handle your peeps, bro.
You have such an eloquent way of phrasing things.
Typically.
I do not think right now would be a good time. They look very angry.
Xander, you do... Let's see, do you have line of sight?
I was.
Oh no, sorry, not Xander, but Farius. I feel like you would have line of sight. And what's your passive perception?
Not terribly high.
Would you rather roll? You can roll if you want to instead.
All right.
Roll at advantage. I'm sorry. Roll one more time. Because I'm pretty sure that would probably be higher. Okay.
Oh, neat.
That's fine. So looking past Xander, you are looking at the blue highlighted one, and you do recognize this individual.
It's bothersome. Xander, you might not want to be anywhere around here when I talk to them.
Alright. I'm gonna skedaddle then.
So I'm gonna kind of like position myself at the corner here and just like wave a hand out towards them while sort of speaking in Undercommon. Hello, greetings.
This guard up front is going to take up kind of a different position so that he can better see what's going on. And in Undercommon, he returns to you. Are you friend or enemy?
I peek my head out. Friend.
And the dark elf in the back looks to you, kind of peers around his men, and a look of recognition passes over his face. It's alright. It is Xander. Or not Xander, but the Farius. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing in the text line. So, have you been successful?
I was about to be successful until your men decided to come here and blow up the ships that I was going to use to deliver to you your prisoner.
Do not be so hasty to blame others. The royal prince is with us, and you know, as many of us do,
sure
that
that
they
he
do not
is-
wait for nobody.
I am sure that he is incredibly impatient, and that is why he decided on this rather ill-advised course of action. But ill-advised it still was, regardless.
Do you dare advise the prince?
I dare to know how to do my job.
And as one that trained you in such a job, I would have expected it done already.
In what particular fashion would you have expected me to have finished it even quicker? I had no contact from you, I was merely sending reports. I had no ability to actually do anything beyond that. I was left with only being able to find some way to prepare myself for when you did arrive. You did not send me a message when you were arriving, so I had no idea that you were here at the time when you attacked, so I wasn't able to prepare the prisoner in the first place. There were a lot of things that were handled very messily, that could have been handled far better if we would have tried a little harder.
You're not so old or wise to be giving me orders. Maybe I should have trusted Herr Chief with this mission instead of you.
The chief doesn't even know how to tie his own shoes.
Well, there may be still time for you to prove yourself.
Prove myself? You come, you botch my operation, and you ask me to prove myself.
You can see that you are starting to really frustrate this individual.
Join the club. I'm fucking frustrated.
And you are starting to feel like you are treading on thin water, as this is your superior and somebody that had trained you in your youth. He holds a high rank in the secret services to the princes.
Okay. How about this? If you can arrive here in a much more, perhaps not so grand fashion, in the morning, we can ensure that the prisoner is ready for you. He does prayers in the mornings.
It is a little late for that plan, as the prince himself has landed with me and the other lander. He has brought a special present for those that wish to not follow the orders that he has pressed down. I'll give you this much. We'll stay landed, but you must produce the prisoner by the morning, as you said. Though I do feel, knowing this prince, that he would like to at least address or send a message. Do you still have your datapad with you?
Of course I do.
Well, in due time, we will broadcast a planet-side message. Make sure you tune in with those that are sheltering with you. And do not think we do not know your numbers. We have scanned for thermal imaging and can easily tell how many there are.
Very good. But numbers alone do not tell you the entire story.
Well, before the message is delivered this evening, why don't you dine with me and tell me, and the prince, I'm sure your stories might amuse him.
I doubt that would be a fantastic idea at the moment, since you wish for me to prepare the prisoner for you. That is going to take a little time, and some finagling. I would prefer that we manage to capture the prisoner without getting into another firefight that potentially loses lives on both sides that are entirely unnecessary.
It should be a simple enough task, but again, I'm sure the prince would like to show off his present for those that think they may still get away with this. And at this time, looking over Kukobo's shoulder, you see a large, almost statuesque sarcophagus that is illuminated in a small opening by really bright blue light, and it seems to be moving ever so slightly. It has been anchored to the ground at 4 points with some very strong cable. You feel the hair on the back of your neck stand in view of this item.
Well, I know not to ask questions when I don't need to. In any case, if you would all like to relax for a little while in the morning, I will make sure the prisoner is ready to go. If you look over in the biodome, all the way to the southeast, to the southwest, you will find where he will be located.
Fair enough. We shall, as you say, relax for the evening. I'm sure the prince would care to reenact a less royal experience, as he is strangely eager to relate.
Very fine. He can do as he pleases. And it's your ways will.
And so with that, he gives you a familiar departure saying, and he goes back over to kind of reassure the prince and let him know about sending the transmission and all of that stuff for you guys.
Alrighty. What a frustrating individual.
He did train you.
Yeah. Doesn't it really just makes it worse, honestly.
I'm just meaning that he probably picked up a lot of those tricks that you may use to be a very smooth individual.
Annoying person.
Yeah.
I only annoy people because I'm too friendly with them and they get suspicious. That's the only reason why I'm annoying. This dude's just a prick.
Well, you know, those in power tend to be unfortunate sometimes, so. Alright. So, Hacker, you're still in the ship there?
Yeah, I'm still hiding. I'm not peeping out. I am keeping my goddamn head down. I don't exist. Until they all go somewhere where I can get away without them seeing me.
If you were to peek, you could kind of see that they're setting down some semblance of a, like, temporary camp with a ornamental canopy and tons of really fluffy pillows, tables that you would sit at on the floor, and they're just bringing out lavish food, and just the prince is just there, just kind of not I wouldn't say frustrated, mildly displeased would be a good term.
Impatient.
Yeah, a little impatient.
Meta talk, Farius. You think it'd be a bad idea if I tried to rig one of the ships to explode?
Probably. Well, something to remind yourself of is the fact that there's AIs already on board a lot of the ships, so they might like note that and be like, "Oh, somebody has tampered with the ship."
And also, just because there appears to be nobody in the ship does not mean that there's nobody in the ship, nor that these might be smarter ships. Who knows?
To be honest, I'm just surprised that as soon as they landed, Hackton tried to run over and disabled them right on the spot.
True.
I think after the last battle, he's learned his lesson. Be a little bit more cautious.
Alright, we can take a quick bio break if you guys want.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. So we'll see all of you in a few minutes. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us so far. All right, so we're back. Thanks for bearing with that short break. When we left off, a familiar face, an interaction between Farius and somebody that had spent time training him in his youth has appeared, along with a elven prince, and they have occupied this one of the landing pads on the outpost. So, what are you guys doing? So we can close out today's adventure.
Well, I
Obviously,
guess I'll
at some
reconvene
point.
with everybody first.
Yeah, I definitely need to do that in the stealthiest way possible.
Farius and Xander were talking there at the doorway. He made his way back to the trap door as stealthily as he could. He's not known for his stealth.
Nope.
Couldn't clunk.
Okay. Oh, easily enough.
We're waiting for Ferris to come back anyway, right?
Ferris and Hacker, because you don't know.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Forgot about you over there.
There. Okay. I mean, there isn't any scouts going around, and they're kind of, the guards are casually. Yeah. They're casually there, but you probably could stealth roll your way around the backside of the wreckage if you wanted to try to get out of there that way. Or unless you have a really sick RP way of getting out of there.
Gosh, I don't think so. Not really. Just be moving as quietly as I could to get into some kind of cover. I've only got, what,
That's easy enough to do.
30 feet?
You can go ahead and make your way back with your token, and group up with everyone. Using Farius as partial cover.
Yep.
You use just barrel roll to safety. That's what they do in all the. Yeah.
I mean, Star's been known to do a few of those.
See ninjas doing it all the time. Ultimate stealth move, somersault.
Alright. So I'm gonna tune this down a little bit, because this is a little freaking upbeat. Alright, so you've all kind of made your way back to the biodome. Soul is not there. There you go. And if you'd like to share any information, you can. If not, we could use this as a pausing point.
I think we should use it as a pausing point, but
Okay.
at the same time, Farius is going to look to everybody and just be like, "We have a decision to make, and it is not going to be an easy one."
Oh, man.
Dun, da, 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 dun, dun, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Da.
Alright, well, it has been a pleasure. I really wish we could play longer. But hopefully we'll be able to play longer in the future. Maybe. Yeah. But it has been a pleasure DMing for all of you, and I hope you all out there that have been watching have been enjoying the stories thus far. Until next time.